This is Jamie, host of the Jamie Egenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie Egenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in. Welcome to the Jamie Egenti Show right here on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Tuesday. How is everyone doing out there? That's good? Good. Now, a little breaking news here. I just saw, on my timeline, the social media stuff. You read it to social media and you see, maybe fake things or real things. But the World Cup, which we will dive in at some point during the show. Probably not today, but later on, as the time goes on. This is very early. I just saw Saudi Arabia beat Argentina 2-1. Now, I told someone yesterday, Argentina is my favorite to win it all. Win it all, the whole cup. I want to see Lionel Messi get it one last time. But you lose to a team that I don't know what else to say. They probably listen to this show, which we got to give a shout out to Saudi Arabia for winning their game today. So kudos to them. Congratulations. And Argentina, you got to get it together. It's very early. However, let's dive into this game. Now, Dallas played Minnesota back Sunday. Let's dive into the stats. So Dak Prescott had a 22 for 25 for 276 and 2 touchdowns. Basically, he went back to normal. He went back to his Dak self. Last week he threw over 40 passes, which does not equate wins. When you have two quality backs that can get the job done, you have to rely on them. Now, granted, do I think Dak had his best game to date? Yes. This was his best game this season. You can just call it a complete game, a normal game for Dak. He was poised. He was accurate on his passes. He made the right reads. Everything was clicking for him on the offensive side. We'll dive into the defense side later on, but he didn't get sacked. That's the key. He did not get sacked. So kudos to the offensive line. Kudos to Dak for playing well. But I do have a issue with Kirk Cousins. That's my next point. Kirk Cousins went 12 for 23 for 105. Now my partner Gabe is not here today, so I'm doing this solo. So we're still gonna have fun with it. So, with that being said, Kirk Cousins, you are a 12 o'clock player, I assume, right? He's the type of dude that goes to bed at 7 p.m., right? And wakes up at 6 a.m. So that's about what? Normal people get about 8 hours of sleep. He gets about maybe 12, close to 12. So that's 11. Sorry, that's 11 hours of sleep. So I don't know. I'm just trying to be funny because I'm not. I don't know what his schedule is, but he cannot get up for these games. Minnesota has to know that. So anytime you play at 12 o'clock as not on TV, that's when he shines. It's been like that his whole entire career. So, excuse me. So he has to. So I don't know where he can take this team from there. You got some weapons on the outside, which they were shut down. You got a great running game, which, that was shut down as well. That was so weird was the offensive play calling from Minnesota. They didn't run the ball as much. They didn't throw it his throws were inaccurate, maybe because of the defense that got home early, and which we did. And he did get sacked 7 times. So I don't know how you can recover from getting sacked 7 times to to going to the next game, which is Thursday night against the Patriots. So the Patriots are no joke. They'll show you everything. But Kirk Cousins, you have to get it together in order for Minnesota to take that next leap. But his game bores me a little bit. It was just like, he's just one of those quarterbacks that he doesn't excite you as much. He doesn't get you up ready to play. And Dak does. Dak excites you up with, he can light you up with, 30 points a game. He can light you up with his accurate passing. If we have the one receiver that can run routes for him, then that we can make that happen, which to me, I do think Odell will help this team. Speaking of Odell, have you guys noticed that CeeDee Lamb has been playing well lately? You noticed that, right? That when your quarterback, your running back, your linebacker is saying, okay, we want Odell, it triggers the receiver room because the receivers have to go. The receivers feel like they're not doing their job. They're not performing to their best of their ability. So it does trigger them a little bit. It should it does motivate them. It motivated CD, and that's why he's been balling out lately. It has motivated Noah Brown. He's trying to stay on this team. I don't know who else we have, that can run accurate routes outside of, CD. We got Gallup, who's trying to work himself up to speed. But Jalen Tolbert is trying to find his way on the offense, which, I don't know. I don't know about this guy, Jalen Tolbert. I think we drafted him. We were hoping to get some results from him, but at some point he hasn't shown any results. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm just saying I'm saying maybe he needs time to develop. And develop, you just wish the NFL had a developmental league for players like that to develop, and I think he can develop. But that's in the future. So, with that being said, we did great on Kirk Cousins. He, like I said, he's not a night person. We know that for sure. More of a morning person. He can get up during the games. He can ball out when no one's watching him. Period. So let's go to Tony Pollard. Let's say, Tony Pollard he had 15 carries for 80 yards. He had 6 receptions, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I have my expectations of him getting paid. And I want y'all to hear me on this. I wrote the numbers down. I said my expectation for him to get paid is 5 years, $90 million to $100 million, and $25 million guarantee. That's my expectation. The man will be 26 in I think next March or May, and I know the running back is 30 years old or plus, so he's not there yet. As far as age-wise, but I do think if you want to pay him, I think he has to be the first in line to get paid. There's other teams out there that need a running back like his side, like him. Just ask the Rams. But I wouldn't hesitate to pay him to go after him right now. If you want to give him everything, give him everything. You got to keep him on this football team. We don't know what we're going to get from Zeke. We definitely don't know what we're going to get from Malik Davis. No disrespect to him. He just started. So with that being said, we got to figure out a way to get Pollard paid and not wait until the last minute to get him paid, because other teams will step up with their offer and try to galvanize his interests on a different team. Maybe he can lead them to a championship. At this rate, Pollard is that running back. Do I think he should be a full-time back? He should, but then again, when I said 3 weeks ago, I think Zeke Elliott is the full-time running back. We need a power run game, and Zeke has that. Pollard has that too, but it's hard for me to get rid of a guy that can get you 100+ yards when he's fully healthy. And I'm talking about Zeke Elliott. Pollard can get you that, and then some. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like we're going to wait to the last minute to get him signed. Period. But that's my expectation. 5-year, maybe 90 to 100 million, 25 mil guarantee. I might make him the highest run back in the league. I don't know, second highest, third highest. We don't know. But I do think he has to be first in line to get signed. And then we can sign the other players later. Number 3, the defense. Are they back? 2 straight weeks of giving up over 200 yards on the ground. At that time they gave up, an average of 30-plus points. Are they back? Let me give you some stats. Justin Jefferson, who, by the way, I had him as one of my breakouts this season. I think I ranked him at number 4 or 5. I gotta go check. But no, he had 3 receptions for 33 yards. He was non-existent. Dalvin Cook had 11 carries for 72 yards. He wasn't anything special. Then again, the play calling from Minnesota wasn't that great. What they did during the games is, a mixture of running and passing. They got the offense, and I think they have the quarterback. I'm not too high Kirk Cousins. I just think he's just another guy that could try to get the job done when like I said, when no one's watching. But then again, I don't know. It's just one game that the defense played well. They stepped up. Michael Parsons, 2 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong, 2 sacks, which, by the way, Michael Parsons, when he got hurt that game, and I'm very concerned as to why he went back in the game. I understand players like himself are saying, I'm not quitting on the team. And that to me, I give you mad respect. Because players, when they get hurt, they just lay it down. They just shut it down. Michael Parsons says, no, you can't take my helmet. I'm going to go back in there. It was a 30-point lead and play my game. And that's what he's done. I can't knock him for that. I can't say the Cowboys have to be careful with him. He's going to do what he's got to do. And if he gets hurt, it's on him. It's on him. And he will admit that it's on him. He's one of the realest dudes out there. Like when players get hurt, they blame the trainer. Teams blame the trainer. They play the blame game. It said like for example, Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis is a walking toothpick, right? Anthony is like when a toothpick breaks, it breaks. That's what Anthony Davis is. Anthony Davis will go out there. He's balling right now, but soon enough, someone might step on his leg, someone might step on his foot, and he'll get hurt. Now, do you blame the trainer for your injuries that you're getting constantly hurt all the time? You can't blame them. It's the player. The player has to do when you get hurt and you get healthy again, you got to do the things to get up right. And that's what Anthony Davis has not done. I'm pretty sure there's going to be an injury waiting to happen. So I don't wish out on anybody. Definitely don't wish out on Anthony Davis. But let's be real here. We you got to take care of yourselves. But that's what Michael Parsons will do, and he will accept accountability. Wherever he goes, we go. Period. And our depth is stepping up a little bit. We got Sam Williams stepping up a little bit. Like I said, Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, stepping up. Gallimore stepping up a little bit more. Anthony Brown stepping up. This probably was his best game. Trayvon Diggs is starting to play his cornerback position. Donovan Wilson. We can give mad love to all those guys on the defense, and we're doing that right now. So, with that being said, number 4 is a short week, guys. So, My thing is the short week. The Cowboys been through this. And every team has been through this. Especially when it's Thanksgiving, you got all the distractions. It's different because you got all the distractions and whatnot. So you got to rest. Pretty sure the Cowboys are going to rest up until tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll be ready. I'm sorry, Thursday they'll be ready for that game against the Giants. Stay poised. You got to stay poised after a win. You can only celebrate that day, but it's time to go back to work yesterday. It's definitely time to go back to work today and tomorrow to prepare for your divisional rival. So stay poised, stay in the moment. Don't get too big-headed. I see fans out there that saying, especially Skip Bayless, saying, "Oh, okay, well, we got it. We got into the Super Bowl. We lost. We lost to the Green Bay Packers. We lost to the Eagles." I mean, we got to stop selling ourselves short, guys. 7-3 does not guarantee you Super Bowl throughout the rest of the season. Just ask the Eagles. The Eagles are 9-1, and they're not even thinking about the Super Bowl. So I just want us to be patient. There's hurdles to get through. There's hurdles in reality you got to get through. Just like the Cowboys, you got to get through those hurdles. We can't say Super Bowl right now. We can't even say the playoffs right now because there's other teams out there that are right there within us. The Giants, the Commanders, and the 49ers. They're right there with us. Both of them have 6 wins. And so we got to stay – we got to not get too big-headed, not get ahead of ourselves, and, we hope for the end results. We got to take it one game at a time. Like, for example, we're going to dive into the Giants in about a few seconds. We got to focus on that game because that's a big rival, and I'm pretty sure they want revenge, considering the fact that we beat them on a Monday night when they were 2-0. I mean, that's a good football team on the other side. They're no jokes. But I'm just going to urge Cowboys fans, we got to be patient. We got to stop being too big-headed. We got to stop over celebrating victories. We got to stop this. One game at a time and go from there. If we make the postseason, we make the postseason. Then we'll say, hey, we got to get to the wild card. We win the wild card, we get to the divisional round. You win that, NFC Championship game. You win that, then Super Bowl. Then we'll see. Who knows? But it's too early to tell. It's November. We'll see. The offense scored their first 7 possessions of the game. So to me, that's exciting, right? It keeps the offense consistent. The defense rested a whole lot. Hey, it's a win. It's a recipe for success. Let's avoid the embarrassment, guys. Okay. And the reason why I say avoid embarrassment is because Thanksgiving Day, everybody, the whole entire world, when they go through the parades and all that stuff, they're probably going to get through the Bills and Lions game, which to me that's going to be an entertaining game, considering the fact that Detroit has won 3 straight. The Bills are no joke either. So we're going to go through the parade. First things first, you're going to do the running marathon, all that stuff. Then you go through the parade, and then you might watch the first football game. You might watch a movie. Then the Cowboys game will start at 3 o'clock. You'll watch that game, and then 7 o'clock, and then that's where everybody's just tired. So that's what I'm saying. You're playing on a national stage, Cowboys. You cannot embarrass yourself like you did last year with the Raiders. And so we got to go into that game focused. I understand a lot of distractions. We got to cut out the distractions and just play football. Period. All right. So before we put a bow on this is my final take. 40-3. Unexpected. Didn't see that coming. I thought Minnesota. I picked Minnesota to win this game. Because of their high-power offense. The defense is no joke either. I didn't see 43 coming. I do want to give 2 shout-outs to Terrence Steele and Brent Maher. those guys don't get enough credit. You know, there's always going to be the quarterback, the running back, the defense. Terrence Steele played his best game I ever seen. Brent Maher played his best game I see because Brent Maher doesn't get enough love, and it's always interesting to me that when kickers miss field goals, their job is in jeopardy the next day. Like you never know when you're going to get that, when they're going to get that slip. You never know when they're going to say, you know what, we need to go with another kicker. We need to get this going. And that's what Brent Maher has shut out that noise and say, you know what, I'm the kicker of this football team. I'm going to make the kicks. Terrence Steele has said, you know, I'm the right tackle of this game, of this team. I'm going to continue to keep my spot. I'm going to keep Dak protected. I'm going to open up the running game for my guys. So, shout out to those guys. They're playing great. The Giants, this game has to be a must-win game. We're both 7-3. This is for like you get a game and a half closer to the Eagles. So we got to go into this a sense of urgency. It's a must-win game. Now, don't view it as another game on the schedule because it's really not. It's just a game where we got to take care of business, basically. You know, easier said than done, right? You know, you take care of the Giants, we'll address everything from there. So, and like I said, the Giants are no joke. They got a great running game, a decent quarterback that you have to make him forced to beat you. They don't have receivers, you know, but they're good. They have a good defense. So that's why I said it's a must-win game. And so we'll see. We will see. But we will dive into that game and more come up next week. But coming up next, we put a bow on that. So we focus on the Giants. And, you know, who knows? We'll take it from there, man. All right. So that's enough of that. Coming up next, let's get into some basketball storylines that I want to talk about. And I want y'all's opinion on it. So let me know. All right. It's Fishbowl Radio. welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Jamie Egenti Show right here on Fishbowl Radio. All right, so we already talked about football. Let's dive into basketball. Now, college basketball has started. If y'all have noticed, all the games are on TV, all the games on the app, all that stuff. So college basketball is in full swing. So teams that I'm interested in, UNT, right? I'm interested in the UNT women's and men's program, basketball wise. I feel like the women's basketball at UNT hasn't performed to expectations. The men's basketball has, but things may change this season. And let's talk about the ladies first. So these two games, right? They played recently against Stephen F. Austin, and Wichita State. Stephen F. Austin beat them 80-49. That's Stephen F. Austin 80, UNT 49. Okay, and then North Texas, and then UNT comes back. They lose to Wichita State 57-53, which to me I'm mad about. I'm mad about at those two games because those are Stephen F. Austin is no joke of a team. Wichita State you could have had. You're up by 17 at the half. Why is it that y'all gave up the lead? I just want to know why? You just gave up a 17-point lead, turn around, and you lose by 4. Okay? You wasted a perfect effort by Quincy Noble, which by the way, I'm trying to get her on this show. I'm trying to get her on this show because I feel like she can lead this team to where the promised land, wherever that may be. But it has to be the NCAA tournament. We can't play in the NIT where no one's watching us. Like, we can't play in these small tournaments. Nobody else is watching us but the guys that live there in person. So, like I said, I've been trying to get her on TV on this podcast. I want UNT fans, the alumni, students to help me out. Not just her, the coach, the players. Can we get them on this show, please, so that I can ask them, what is your expectations for this season? Is we just to play ball, or are we just trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in, 36 years, I think? I just don't understand. I don't understand why you go into this game, you're up by 17, and you lose by 4. I just don't. What did Wichita State show you? They have showed you nothing. What did y'all do on offense? Kind of like the Stephen F. Austin game. You guys have no flow on offense. You pass it to number 0, hoping that she makes a play. I mean, granted, she's a great player. But at the same time, she needs help. Somebody on that team needs to step up. Somebody. You can't tell me all 8 or 9 of you players cannot score 10 points. Y'all have done it in high school or wherever it may be. But this is this game was unacceptable. You guys have no flow in offense. You barely have it. You foul a lot. I mean, come on. You have no flow on it. You turn the ball over 19 times. You can't win those games. Turn the ball over 19, 20 times. They had 22 turnovers. How the hell did they win this game? They won it by running their stuff. They run it by outsmarting you guys. The coaching staff outsmart y'all. I'm tired of this crap. We cannot set up for moral victories. This was going to be a moral victory. Like this is ridiculous. Like somebody has to call you out, and I am too. I am doing that. We can't set this behavior. It's unacceptable, man. And every player, coaches should look in the mirror and say, you know what? I messed up. I want to take accountability. But no. everyone was like, let's move on to the next game. Or better yet, we'll get him next time. We're going to settle with 19 turnovers. We're going to settle with 20. We're going to settle with an offense that has nothing. We're going to pass it to number 0. She's going to give us a basket, which nobody else has done. You shoot a bunch of 3-pointers, thinking that 3 points will get you in the game. It has not. You got to make them. You got to hit 30% of your 3-point shots. If they're not falling, just drive to the basket. Create. Get some layups. Get some paint shots. Get some mid-range shots. Get out in transition. 3 points does not dictate you win this game or not. I've been telling people that for years. But yet, the number one stat in basketball is 3-pointers. That's in every league. You got to hit at least 30% of them in order to give yourself a chance in the game. If they're not working, do something else. Period. But like I said, I don't know what happened in the offseason. What did y'all do in the offseason that prompted this effort? I just want to know. What did y'all do in the offseason? What is the expectation for this women's basketball team at UNT? Is it to make it to the NCAA tournament? Is it to make it to the NIT? You have done that. Teams who make it to the NIT have made the NCAA tournament every year. That's the number one goal. I mean, to me, I'm not in that locker room. I'm not around the team daily. I think y'all's goal is to settle. Settle with what you have. And that's the results you'll get. The announcer says, okay, 17 wins is good. It is decent enough. However, you got to take that next step. Okay? It's like riding a bike. You go from training wheels to a mountain bike. It may take years, it may take months, but you're gonna get there. For them, they're gonna settle. That's what it is. And fans out there, those 10 fans that show up to the stadium every game day, they're gonna say, we're gonna settle for this basketball team. We're not expecting much. I'm not expecting much from this basketball team. I don't understand. We gotta change it, ladies. We gotta change it. All right. Oh, and by the way, we gotta give a congratulations to Quincy Noble. She was the Conference USA Player of the Week. Her 30 points. What a wasted effort, man. This is unbelievable. But congratulations to her, though. And I'm still trying to get her on the show, by the way. All right, so let's go to the men's side on number 2. So they played Fresno State versus North Texas. This team here is wherever Taylor Perry goes, they go. And like I said, it's not like last year where you had multiple players stepping up. It's different now. It's like I said, it's early. Okay, it's early. You never know what's going to happen in the next week or two, and many more months to come. But, however, the effort was decent enough for a victory on Saturday against Fresno State. We'll see. We'll see. But as long as number 5 is on the court, you guys will always have a chance to win. Period. No one else is stepping up. Number 5 is going to get you a chance to win these games. So, we just got to see what happens with that. But that's another thing. I am still trying to get some of the players on this show too. So, like I said, UNT students, alumni, if you can help me out, get them on the show. Hey, we'll talk. I'll talk about everybody's. We'll discuss expectations, everything else, and we'll do that. And not just UNT, just for any colleges, whether it's here in the Metroplex or outside of the Metroplex, and other states, and all that stuff. So, please help a brother out. Remember, I can help y'all out too. So we'll see. So let's go into some NBA talk. Number 3. Okay, so Kyrie was suspended for 8 games. As you see, people see, and the Nets went 5-3 in those games, right? They hired a new coach, Jock Vaughn, during that time. They started playing a little bit better. Still the same results. Granted, they're not going to play defense all season. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, this is not a defensive team. I think this team is very dramatic. I think this team loves distractions. I think this team loves the spotlight. What Kyrie did was what Kyrie did is my personal opinion. I said some things a couple weeks back on this podcast about Kyrie. I just worry about the player and Kyrie, his commitment. I don't care much about the off the court stuff. If he wants to believe what he wants to believe, I can't knock him for that. And I do knock the Nets for giving him the agenda of the type of things he has to do to come back. That's their prerogative. But I worry about the player, okay? And I heard some commitment, right? So you have to be committed to your job. As everybody, including Kyrie. Kyrie's not committed to playing basketball. I think Kyrie brings the drama to himself. I think he's worried about himself more than others. Now, granted, he can give out donations all you want. At the end of the day, it's still about him, okay? It's still about him. And I don't want it to be about him because he's not committed to the team. Like, what I disagree with Jay Will, I don't like Jay Will trying to defend. That's Jay Williams, by the way. I have my own respect for Jay Williams. I don't like him defending Kyrie, thinking that Kyrie is part of this team that can lead a team to a championship, and it's shown he can't. I mean, the man can't stay on the court. That's what I worry about. Actually, I shouldn't be worried about it because he's not that type of player that's going to stay on the court. Period. Like he's going to find a way to miss games. He's going to do his own thing. And Nets are accepting it. The Nets love it. KD wants to, lie to us and say, you know what, I love my brother. Okay, if you love your brother, then your brother will do one or two things. He's there, or he's not. Basically, period. Like he hasn't been there. He's cleared it by himself. You can ask the same thing for Ben Simmons too. Ben Simmons is about himself. He had one good game out of what the numerous games that you played, and he's been sitting out. But he played well the other night. So you got two teammates that don't care about basketball. One that wants to bring the drama to himself, which you saw the protesters line up at the Barclays Center, just trying to cause some noise. And you got another player who's not committed to basketball. Plays when he wants to play. Like I said, you're wasting an opportunity of guys that want to make it to the NBA. You're wasting the opportunity. There's guys in the G League that have fought harder than Kyrie and Ben Simmons combined, especially Kyrie. There's players in overseas that are playing a lot better than Kyrie right now that want to sign on an NBA squad that can help an NBA squad and all that stuff. So those two guys, especially Kyrie's wasting a roster spot for those guys. You may disagree or agree with me, but at the same time, reality is reality, right? If a guy is not committed to his duties, it's just like a relationship. If a guy's not committed to a girl or a girl's not committed to a guy, then they separate. That's what it is. That's what Kyrie is. I just don't know why the Nets want to wait until he comes back. Like that's more than a blessing. Like if I'm the Nets, I would have moved on. I would have said, you know what, we're going to wipe our hands clean and go with somebody else that wants to play basketball. There's numerous guys out there that want to play. I mean, I saw a clip, like, for example, there's another clip of Giannis, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. After the Sixers game, which they lost, he's practicing his free throws. Guy says, Montrezl Harrell did a stupid thing, taking his ball away. I think it was stupid. Montrezl Harrell shouldn't be on the court, first of all. You didn't even play. And then second of all, there's a ladder. Giannis acts nicely, and he said, move it. Okay, Giannis is committed to his job. Do you know how many players in the NBA or NFL that are committed to their job just like Giannis is? It's half a percentage of them. And Giannis is committed to his job. Michael Parsons is committed to his job. That's why they say, Michael Parsons, you should sit out. Michael Parsons says, no, you're not going to take my helmet away. Giannis, you should go to the locker room after the game, go get dressed, go talk to reporters, and then come on out and shoot. Giannis says, you know what? I went horrible at the line. I'm going to shoot. Kobe did the rest in peace. Kobe did the same thing in Miami. Other players out there have stayed after practice to work on their game. That's commitment. That's something that people don't have. These guys, these social media says, well, you don't have to be committed to anything. We're still going. That's fine. But at the end of the day, your job, you got to be committed to your job, or else nothing else works. Period. So, with that being said, I just wish that we take the attention off of Kyrie and focus on other players that are doing great things. Number 4, the Spurs. So, I'm always going to talk about my favorite team on this podcast, so whether you like it or not. The Spurs have lost 5 straight, 10 in the last 11. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why we cannot finish in the second half. We played well the first 2 halves. In the second half, we don't have that it factor. We don't have it in the second half. I just wish the game was 24 minutes instead of 48. So, but this is what we get. 5 straight losses, 10 in the last 11. The teams, we're talking about tanking, and I'm still not talking about it. I'm not going to that conversation of tanking. I'm not going to that conversation going for the number 1 pick. I don't like those conversations because you know why? There's other teams worse than us that are more than deserving that number 1 pick. More than deserving. And we're not that team. We're not that team, period. We could finish in the top 10 draft-wise, but at the end of the day, we're not deserving of the number 1 pick. I don't want the number 1 pick in this draft. I don't want it. I'm not even thinking about it right now. It's November 22nd. The season has just started, or a month into it. Let's see what happens. And then I say, when the Spurs are clearly out of the postseason, which will be in March, then I say, you know what? Maybe we're worse than the number 1 pick. Maybe we're worse with the 5th pick. Who knows? So, but right now, I'm not thinking about that stuff. It's too early. I didn't even think about it in the offseason. I dove in on Devin Vassell's word and said, we're just going to play ball. And he's right. They played ball for the first 7 games, and then when 10 in the last 11 came, we crashed. And so I'm not hitting the panic meter. People say, well, as a Spurs fan, you should hit the panic meter. I haven't hit that yet. I'm not going to. I'm not going to hit the panic meter. I'm not going to tank. Tanky says you give up. Okay, so you're saying that we should give up on our jobs? That's what you're saying. Give up the season? I'm not going to give it up. Neither the players should give up, too. Period. Be committed. I always talk about commitment, man. You got to, or else nothing else works. In this case, if you play in a professional league, who knows? So, with that being said, I'm not hitting that panic meter, that panic button. I'm not going to hit it yet. I probably will never hit it. I don't want the number one pick. I'm saying it right now. I don't want the number one pick. My last point. So, basketball has not, there's been some good games in the NBA right now. It will take a while for it to, get a little bit better, right? And so it has to get better, And these are the teams that I expect to merge in December or January. Portland, they're 10-7. Boston, obviously, 13-4. Milwaukee, 12-4. Utah, 12-7. Which, by the way, Utah should get more love than the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers combined. And the Phoenix Suns, 10-6. So, if those teams have one major story we talk about, but when it comes down to the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers, we talk about those teams are not even 500. Heck, even the Lakers are not even 500. The Lakers, they have some impressive wins, recently. But do I think they're going to make a splash into the postseason? Probably no. They're not. Anthony Davis is playing well. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you're not going to you're still the Lakers. You're still gonna screw up games. So you can't continue to play the Spurs or the Detroit Pistons every night, or the Brooklyn Nets every night. That's who y'all have y'all beaten. So with that being said, we gotta stop talking about those teams, man. Those teams, I wouldn't say they have nothing, but we can't continue to talk about those teams, period. These are good quality teams that need our love and our attention, but we don't talk about them because we talk about the drama. We want the negativity in these medias. That's what we want. We want to talk about Kyrie creating chaos at the Barclays Center. We're going to talk about KD saying this. We're going to talk about Ben Simmons not playing games. Who cares? Who cares? If Kyrie wants to cause a storm, let him do that. If Ben Simmons doesn't want to play games, let him do that. But we shouldn't be comforting those guys. Those guys don't need our attention. If they are if they are committed to playing ball, then they will stop the noise right away. And so now they welcome the noise. Ben Simmons was like, you know what? I'm going to play these few games, and I'm going to sit out the next 5. Kyrie, I'm going to play these games. I'm going to find a way to excuse myself from the team. Now what does KD do? KD goes out there and calls out his teammates. Look who I'm playing with. That's a disrespect to your other teammates that have worked so hard to get on that team to play with you, KD. You cannot go out there and do all that. You are not entitled. Period. You're not. That's entitled behavior. You cannot say those things. You can't. Those guys are quality players. They're committed to basketball. They go to practice every day. They make an impact on the court to help your ass out. Where's Kyrie? Where's Ben Simmons? Always dressed up. Kyrie's doing his own thing off the court. Where's that at? Those guys there are committed. Focus on those guys instead of the negativity. And that's what the media should do. Stop focusing on on these bad teams and focus on the good teams that are doing well right now. They need our attention. Look at the Jazz. Look at Portland. Look at Milwaukee. Look at Boston. They have done nothing to cause the drama. But yet you want to talk about the Lakers. They're not even 500 yet. You want to talk about the Nets. They're not even going to the postseason. Both of those teams will be out. But yet you don't talk about they get 30 seconds of coverage. 30 seconds. They get a whole hour. What are we going to do? What are we going to do in the offseason? Well, are you going to sign this player? Are you going to trade for this? That's what they want to talk about in an hour. These guys get 30 seconds. They're small markets. I understand. Give them more time. Now, we're done. But that's my basketball storylines of the day, guys. So please, I appreciate you all coming on the show and listening to me, wherever you may be. Thank you so much. And have a great holiday. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We will be back next week. So we'll dive into the game, the Giants game, and we'll dive into the last UNC game of the year. Let's see if we made any progress, guys. Notice that we did not talk about football, UNC football today, which I'm happy about because I don't like the hype. Okay, I don't like the hype. We're giving this team too much hype. And too much hype for them turns into disaster on the field. You know that. They failed to notice that. I noticed that. Too much hype means that they're going to fail on the football team. So minimize the hype. Let's encourage these guys to play football on the last game of the season, which will happen on Saturday, but we'll talk about it next week. And we're going to talk about where we go from here and where I would think ball-wise. Now, granted, they got to win this game to make an appearance in the Conference USA game. Let's see if we can make that happen. If not, then it's a wasted season, and we got to focus on the bowl game. But thank you guys for listening. We'll dive into that next week, and have a happy Thanksgiving. And thank you so much. Have a good day from Fishbowl Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie Egenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie Egenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.